All right.
Hi.
Hi. In this video, I think what we're going to do is make a placemat. When I was a kid, one of my favorite things was having a coloring project and my own placemat. I don't know why, but I loved it. So we're going to make a placemat. But first we're going to finish Max's arm, and we're going to, I didn't realize that, we're going to have to finish up Jimmy. So Max's arm, once again, I got a piece of scrap paper. Not a big piece of paper, we don't need it. We don't need to waste a big piece of paper. Max's arm is just going to be a line down like everyone else. Whoops, that's too long. Doesn't go all the way down to his butt. Not on Max anyway. On us it does. We touch our butts. But on Max we're going to make it a little bit shorter, right there. So it's just going to be to the end of that line. And it's 2 lines down and an oval at the end, just like that. One, 2 lines, and an oval. And we'll take our big fat pen and go 1 line, 2 lines, and a little bit of an oval. And that's it. You can erase, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut out because of time. Because our placemat's going to take some time. We're going to be gluing this to Max, or taping him, whatever you have. So we can leave extra paper, the extra paper on. Yep. I'm going to grab my little glue stick, my little dollar store glue stick. Don't put too much glue on, otherwise Max will get all wrinkly again. And there we go. Max now has an arm. We can take it and pull it down. You can have it sticking out if you like. I think I want mine down a little bit more. Down like that. So when he goes in the wreath, he's sitting like that. Okay. And this is one of many, 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 many projects we've done, but we'll get into that in a sec. Jimmy is just finishing up his t-shirt. Sorry, Jimmy. Let's get the bottom. Let's get the area from his tummy up to his chest, and then the t-shirt sleeve coming out. Okay, let's finish cutting him out. So I was thinking about this, the characters we made for that wreath, and how we could use them for something else. And then I was thinking, geez, we've made a lot of projects. We've drawn these characters multiple times. Okay, here's the Kite project, where these fellas were standing up. You can't really see it because of the camera angle. These guys were, sorry, this is really messy. These guys were standing up, but we could always remove them from their stands. We could always remove them. Remove the kite. We could always draw the kite again. Remove the kite string from the kite and use it on a flat project. Let's take Max apart. So we could actually, this is one example of what we could do. Take these fellas and make a placemat instead of a 3D project. Take their little strings and bend them or not bend them and put a kite on the end. Let me see one of these kites. Like so. Cut the string, lay them down, put a kite. See, there's another kite. There's another kite. Ooh, there we go. I just took it off, cut it, and then look, instead of a three-dimensional piece that we made, we could actually photocopy this and have a placemat or a coloring page. So I was thinking about that. We drew, excuse me fellas, we drew Jimmy and Max. We've drawn a lot of things. Here's, oh, she's really glued on. But the character we drew in front of the teapot, we could take her off and place her down. There's Joel with his kite, another project we did, well, in the kite flying project. So we could remove this, the little stand we made. Oops. It's removing a lot of paper. Wait a minute. I really glued him down. All right, let's not take him off. Let's pretend I did. But look at, we take him, we don't even have to take him off. Just flatten out this stand that we made, and then you throw him on the photocopier, and you've got a coloring project. But my point is, oh, and Dixie baking a pie. That was another project we did. We could take Dixie off and put him down. Yeah, we've done so many projects that we can use them and reuse them. We don't have to make them once and use them for just that purpose. But I think tonight, you know, the idea of the wreath was really fun. But why don't we do like a placemat in freeform shapes? Okay? And once again, I didn't really think this out. But I think we're going to do texture and shapes. One of my favorite things when I was in middle school was we had to make a folder for our artwork. And our teacher wanted to see different shapes, designs, textures, and colors. And so we blocked it out. And that was our folder for the year. So I was thinking about that and how nice it would be to build a placemat project. So let's start by just making some lines. Okay, you see what I'm doing? Just swooping lines. And they can go in any direction. I'm making them in varying directions. I turn the page or turn the paper so everything isn't going in the same way, and I'm seeing things new, fresh and new. Okay? And what I was thinking was we'd take those and we'd build these really interesting abstract shapes off of them. Down here in Florida, we have a plant that looks like this. This also looks a little like a maple leaf. So what I'm going to do is, or what I'm going to have us do, is a horseshoe shape at the top. coming down to a curved line. It's just all the basic shapes we've been using. Just like that. So it is kind of a leaf. Let's do a couple of those. I'm going to do, on this line over here, I'm going to do that. A horseshoe shape at the top, coming down to a curved line. I'm going to draw another curved line. Let's do it a little bit easier. Just a couple of curved lines, and then the stem. But we're going to round out that corner and round out the edge. Okay, you see what I did? Horseshoe shaped, curved line, curved line, curved line, curved line. Rounded that out, rounded out the edge. Just like that. Let's do it again. Rounding out that corner, rounding out that edge. Rounding out that corner, rounding out that edge. Just like that. I don't want you to think about it too hard. Ready? Horseshoe at the top. Curved line, curved line, curved line, curved line. Let your pencil just kind of do. Oh, I drew in an extra curved line right down there. Rounding that corner, rounding that corner. Rounding out that edge, rounding out that edge. Rounding out that curve, rounding out that edge. Rounding out that edge, rounding out that edge. And that part of the leaf I'm just going to leave as is. Let's draw another stem. Let's do... Okay, we'll go over here. Horseshoe. Curved line, curved line, curved line, curved line. Kind of mimicking this one, curved line. Rounding out that edge, rounding out that edge. Rounding that little edge out, rounding out that. And take this, rounding out that. Ooh, Bugsy just burped. Rounding out that edge, rounding out that edge. And stem. Okay, and it's not good to have 4. We want to make sure that we have an odd number. So let's draw this one. That's what I'm going to do anyway. Let's draw this one. You do what you want. Horseshoe. Curved line, curved line. Rounding out that edge, curved line. That looks like a ghost. Look at it. Like the head and the arms of a ghost. Or someone in a little sheet pretending to be a ghost. And then the stem. Okay? So now we've got 5, and that's always going to feel a little bit better. I want to go into detail in these leaves, but we'll do that in a minute. I'm also thinking about feathers. These are all shapes we've done before, just basic shapes. So it's a curve at the top, coming down. Okay, let's see. And the feather breaks. Another shape there. These are big. Maybe I should have thought this out a little bit more, but it'll all be okay. Okay, there's our feather. We're taking that line in the center, the bone of the feather down to the quill, curving around, sharp line down, sharp line out, sharp line, or a curved line down, sharp line in, sharp line out, and then I couldn't really draw more of the feather without them touching, which I don't want. So I turns the feather. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm trying to do this so you can see, because I know I sometimes draw fast. Okay. The feather. Let's do one more. We're going to do it here. Top of the feather, and it can be pointy, but I like mine to be not pointy. Ooh, I got a big goober in the middle. I don't know what that is. No, it's going to be part of it now. Sharp line down, sharp line in. I like the way the feathers will break sometimes, or not break. Let me show you. They won't break, but they'll do this. You see? This. This is what we're going for. They'll separate. So that's what we're going for. Put that, let's see. Put that right there. Sometimes when people draw feathers, they'll draw them as a solid piece. I don't like to do that. Okay, we've got some leaves, we've got some feathers. Let's draw the leaves in. Let's grab our big fat Sharpie. We're going to go wee. Remember, you don't have to draw them as a solid line. You can do dots and dashes. And I don't want to use that center line. The line that we first drew that gave us our shape, I don't really want to use it. I'm not going to draw it with the big Sharpie. And notice I didn't really stick to the pattern that we originally drew. I just kind of let the pen go. You see how I'm doing it? Dots and dashes. Because that's what makes it interesting. We're not computers. We don't have to do everything, have perfect lines. Our dots and dashes and the varying shapes that we make while we're drawing are what make this unique to us. See? I'm going to do one more. I think this is the first one we made, I'm not sure. And that curved bit. Okay, I've done my leaves. Now I'm going to do my feathers. And it's pretty much the same top. It's kind of rounded. And I might put more breaks in it, mimicking the way the feather curves. Mimicking the way the feather curves. I'm thinking about doing that. Right? See there? Putting in maybe extra breaks in the feather. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to do what my pen says, what my heart says. Put in extra lines. I put in an extra break. We are going to go down the middle though, because this has a spine. This has a spine. That is a solid piece right in there. So we're going to mimic that, and then the quill at the end, just like the stem of the leaf. So I'm going to do another leaf, boink, boink, boink. I'm going to do this. The more I draw them, the better I get at it. When I first start, I'm uncomfortable. I get nervous. But just like anything else, the more you do it, the easier it gets. Oh, I forgot I'd like to do that in mine. I just go whoop, whoop, leave the spine. Leave the spine on this one too. 1, 2, 3 feathers. I'm going to leave these lines because I think I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure. I'm going to take the middle line out of my leaves because I don't need them. They don't need a spine. And I just want to draw some circles. This is kind of a like a freeform thing. I'm just drawing some circles. No particular reason. I just like circles. Just like that. Maybe draw a few of them. Let's see how that feels. Draw them in different sizes. Little, medium. Got a big one up there. Maybe a couple of little ones. Maybe I'll draw a bigger one right there. This is where you just let your imagination breathe. And you do what feels right. That's how I paint. So I do everything. I just follow intuition. Sometimes my intuition is good and sometimes it's not good. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just okay. Sometimes it's super spot on. So you notice I'm just kind of drawing them in different places on the shapes that were kind of leafy. I don't know what I want to do in the center yet, so I'm going to leave that alone. Let's give the feathers some lights and darks, and we're just going to do our lines. Let me make sure you can see me. I'm just going to do lines, giving them texture. Okay? Sorry, I'm covering it up. This is very difficult to do. Just lines. And I want you to see something. In certain places, I've gone outside the lines. And I do that because feathers grow at different lengths, and they're not solid and perfect. They just are what they are. It's like hair. You get a haircut, but there's still some that stick way out. Okay, and they're driven, and we drew these solid lines, but I'm still putting skinny lines outside of them. And it just makes it way more interesting. Gives it more life. And I've got feathers coming out the base too. My lines are feathers coming out the base. These feathers, they do that. Look. You see that? It's not, this isn't a solid piece. There's feathers coming out down by the quill. Or what could be a quill if somebody turned it into a pen, which people used to make these into pens and dip them in ink and draw and write. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. See how quick I'm going? Not worried, I'm just doing. People used to say that to me, don't think, just do, and I had no idea what they meant. So I was too scared to just do. There we are. I want to do the same things within the circles. Just lines, just like we do on our eyes. We're always doing the same thing over and over again. We're just reinforcing what we've already learned. Shapes and ideas. Using them over and over and over again, like we could our guys. putting in lines. I'm on my fourth leaf now, turning the paper so the lines within my little leaves, or whatever they are not all going the same way. Whoops. Glue stick. We're turning the paper so our design always has harmony. Harmony and flow, like we want in our community and in our lives. Okay, I'm going to erase a couple of lines. I'm going to do something new that we haven't done before. We could do our flowers again. We could do a lot of things. But I think, where's my little pencil? There we are, right on the floor. We put two lines, we have two lines that we haven't done anything with. We're going to have some more over here. But I have these curly cues that I really like to do in filling in areas. So we've got this basic line, and then we're going to draw an upside down J. See that? Whoop. This is just a quick way to add design. Quick shape. And a little line coming off of it. This is going to look like something growing. It could. Alright, so a bunch of upside down J's coming off of it. We're going to end up doing this in a number of different places, as well as adding squares and some other things. But taking that line, drawing upside down J's. I think I'm going to make another line there. What I like to do is doing the top. Kind of forgot. The top, I like to do a big one. A big one like that. So we've got our main line, and then upside down J's coming off of it. And they're going to have more designs coming off of them too. But right now it's just doing this quickly. I've got my main line. I'm going to do the top big swirly bit. And then some upside down J's, which I think I did too many on this one. I did too many. I haven't made this shape for a while, so I kind of forgot. That's what I really wanted, something like that. And that's too big, but... Alright, we'll worry about it in a sec. So I've got a littler one down here. It almost looks like corn, but the big corn when it's growing in the field. So a big J, little J is coming off of that. I think we might have to correct that. Why don't we do that now? Let's correct this one. Remember, we can recalibrate because we're artists. We don't have to stick to one idea. Let's recalibrate. Let's think this through. We're going to do our line. Let's do a big J. Upside down J with a little J coming off to the side. Let's do that. J. Looks almost like a hook. I'm going to do another one over here, but with the top part, curved line going in the opposite direction of that one. There we go. They're not going to make sense now. We'll get them in a minute. This again looks, that's not what I wanted. That first one we did. So I'm going to redo it. We're artists. We're professionals. We can handle it. There. So I've got a big line coming this way. Big line coming this way. Little upside down J. Little upside down J. Put another one right here. We're professionals. We can do this on the fly. Okay? So we've got a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I got 6. I have an even number, but we may change that. So I'm going to start drawing them in. I've got my big J. Little curly Q, little one. Just like that. I know this isn't making any sense yet. Oop. Don't forget dots and dashes. Like that, dots and dashes. And do my big curly Q. Little curly Q, upside down J. Coming over here, big curly Q. Okay. We have them going in different directions. Remember, you can always stop this if I'm going too fast. Okay. So this is what I have. I've got a big blank space there. We'll draw some other things in a sec. Let me think. Yep. So at the top, this is going to be odd. Sorry about that. There's a plant called a fiddlehead, and it comes up like this, but it curls around and around. I don't do it around and around. I just kind of make a big bulby thing at the end. I want you to look at that, please. Let's do that again. Just like that. Then the stem coming down. Big bulby thing right there, like, almost like a circle, and then the stem coming down. Let's grab another big one, almost like a circle on the end. Almost. Right there. And the stem coming down. Like I said, I haven't drawn these for a while, so you're watching me figure it out while you're figuring it out. Almost a circle at the end, and the stem coming down. Are there any more big ones? Yep. The big tops, almost a circle, stem coming down. almost a circle, stem coming down. And what I like to do is put a circle in the other parts, in the upside down J parts. I used to make signs for people, and I would do these a little bit differently when you're painting them. See? I just put circles in the center. Watch. There's the big bulby part with the stem coming down. There's one of the small upside down J's. Circle in the middle. Small upside down J there. Circle in the middle. Here's another one with a big bulby, like it almost a circle on top, stem coming down, upside down J, circle, circle. Okay? And we'll leave those circles empty. What we're going to do in these more blank spots, we're going to put in some squares. We don't have to draw them in pencil. We can just draw them in pen. Where you have an empty space, square. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just keep turning the page so I make sure that I'm finding harmony and flow. And they're not all pointing in one direction. And you can do them in all different sizes. They don't have to be big, they don't have to be tiny. Two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We always want to make sure, though, that they're not all going in the same direction, that's all. Filling in blank spots. Okay. Kind of out of ideas now. This is just a fun, quick project anyway. Let's put some lines in our squares. And turning the page so everything isn't pointing in the same direction. And it's okay to go outside the lines. In fact, I think we're going to do something in just a minute as soon as we get done. We don't actually need to put lines in all the squares if we don't want to. can leave some blank. That makes it even more interesting. Or we can fill them all in. Whatever works. Whatever works for you. But we're building texture in dark and light. This is just a fun, silly project. It's nothing to worry about. Did I get everybody? As I said, you don't have to fill in all your squares. I got a big empty space right there. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I want you to take your big pen in the same curly Q idea. I want you to put inside the leaves. Same kind of just simple curly Q. That's it. Oop, we're running out of time. We may have to extend this and finish it in the next video. Kind of the same curly Q idea. Keep moving your paper. Okay. Put curly Q. These kind of look like the way people draw birds in the sky. Very simple birds in the sky. This also looks like this symbol for the sign Aries, the horoscope sign Aries, which I am. Okay, we really are almost out of time. So you can always stop here. You can always decide to draw more shapes, more designs. Like maybe you want to throw in triangles. Or maybe you want to put in different curly Q designs. We may do some more in the next video, I'm not sure. But you can always just stop right there and you've got a coloring project. You've just made your own coloring project and or placemat. But what I really wanted to do is for you to be able to take this flat idea, this flat design, and be able to place your characters that we've drawn in other projects on top. And you can make your own. You've got a multi-layer, meaning you can add different layers to this, if that makes any sense. Let me grab, there's Bugsy. You can always put Bugsy on top. We've got Jimmy. You can make your own placemat. You can take this and photocopy it with remnants of other projects that you've made, like we talked about. Like that. There's Jack flying his kite with our new design in the background. So we did a freeform design, and then we can take things that we've made before and place it on top. Photocopy it, and then you've got a coloring project. There's a lot you can do with this. Oh, let me grab Joel. You can take Joel and put him in the center. And this is what we're trying to do, is just keep building and building on what we've made. There's our little teapot. What if we took our teapot and put it on top? And photocopied it. All right, that might look a little awkward. Bugsy's house. You know? Anyway, there's a bunch of different things you can do. Maybe we'll work a little bit more on this in the next video, but this is what I really wanted to give you, was the opportunity to see what we've been doing, what we've been building, and how you could use it differently. Use the illustrations differently. Like that. But how they could be used differently and how they all work together. Anyway, we'll do this some more. This was fun. Hopefully it was for you too. We'll do this some more next time. Thanks for your patience, and see you in the next video. Ciao.